I present to you the Short Box.
Yo, Shortbox Nation, welcome to episode 247. I am joined by a very special cast of friends and spectacular co-hosts. My name is Barter Milligan. I'm your host. If you don't know by now, I'm joined by my man Cesar Cordero.
Greetings.
Andrew Torres is here.
What's up?
And Walter Gant, all the way from Orlando, is here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Why you got to be so... That was very
nice.
courteous.
Sweet.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's really nice.
that was good.
You gotta start off.
Oh, I'm not drunk.
Shortboxers, look, this is... we joked that this was the real Shortbox review of Avengers Endgame. You know, we had a limited time, and we definitely wanted to put special focus on Peter David for our live show, so this is our chance to kind of unwind and really get a chance to talk about Avengers, especially considering that sometimes doing like them live shows, and so you can attest to it, that you're just kind of put right on the spot after you're done watching the movie, and you got automatically on the mic and try to process.
You don't have time to process it. You just give sort of an initial reaction without really having a time to digest the movie.
And according, to folks like Goodell, when we had watched Captain Marvel and we did the other, like the follow-up show with our other review, and he was like,
yeah,
man, y'all weren't saying that at the live show, though.
Hey, you know what, though? Donald Faison tells a story about going to see episode 1 with Wayne Knight, the guy that plays Newman on Seinfeld.
Yeah, what a random fucking group of... Okay,
yeah,
continue.
Apparently he's friends with him. So they saw episode 1.
Everybody loves Seinfeld.
When it came out, and
Newman.
When they walked out, Donald Faison was like, yo, that movie was pretty good. And then he said a few hours later, he was like, yo, that movie was a piece of shit. Wayne Knight was just kind of like, I have to process this. I have to process this. If it's good enough for Newman and Turk from Scrubs, I think it's good enough for us.
Yeah. So look, this is once again just our little more detailed Avengers Endgame review. So if you haven't watched the movie, not sure why you click play on this one, but spoiler warning anyway. So if you haven't watched the movie, please don't continue. Come back to it when you have. Gentlemen, man, I'm going to kind of just base it around some of the questions I asked Peter David and the crew from yesterday. What were you guys feeling when the end credits ended? I mean, what was like the first thing you guys were trying to process? Drew, how about you lead us off, man?
I was just trying to process all the sacrifice.
That's real talk.
I was telling Drew yesterday, I feel like he single-handedly led some of the loud applause and cheering at that, because I would hear Drew first, like, woo, yeah, and then everyone else would be like, oh, okay, we can go ahead and cheer?
Go ahead and
you want to lead us this way?
Yeah. I'll clap.
I would tell you the thing I thought of. I did not need to see fucking Natasha's gaping head wound,
man,
blood from the back of her head, looking up at me, eyes open, dead. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you see the horror on Hawkeye's face.
Yeah, that was enough.
And I'm like, oh, man.
And
like, he's acting. He's really acting, man. He's selling it. And then, like, dead.
Yeah.
No.
He was like...
You want to see what he sees?
No,
yeah,
he was like, you want to see dead body? No, I don't.
Show me the legs.
Yeah.
Just show me the legs.
Her eyes were all open. Like,
That's definitely still burned.
I couldn't.
Burned image in my mind. Well, what about you, man? What were you feeling after the credits ended?
I don't know, a sense of closure. Even though they say Spider-Man is the technical end of this, so I'm assuming at the end of Spider-Man we'll see what the new group of who's going to be the new Avengers or some shit like that.
I got a question about that and how you guys are feeling that, but I'll ask that later. Go ahead.
But it was just a closure from you watching, from you investing all that time into those movies for the last 10 years, 11 years,
10 years, yeah.
And that big fight scene where everyone is jumping out of all the portals and shit, and then you just kind of got like sensory overload. It's just oh, this is every fucking movie I watch. And then and the other thing that kind of, I don't know, I guess feelings, it was real good to see like characters who, I ain't gonna say you forgot, but actors and actresses like, oh, they were in it. Like Renee Russo popped up and fucking Tilda Swinton popped up.
Yeah.
And Natalie Portman popped up. And that was to explain why Natalie Portman was at their premiere.
Oh.
Because they were talking about Natalie Portman said she's never going to do another Marvel movie. And then she was at that premiere. And then all of a sudden, they just refilmed that little part with her or whatever. So
yeah, just her waking up.
Yeah, but it was, like I say, just a sense of closure, man.
I agree with that.
That's a good way of putting it.
Like, despite the fact that I know there are no lasting stakes in Marvel movies, and I know they'll probably even bring back Natasha, Tony, even Steve, whatever. But I still felt a sense of closure. Like, I was like, it does kind of feel like an end, Like
it feels like
It feels like an end.
It
Yeah.
feels like a good end cap of how Josh Whedon was promoting it. Like, look, this is the end of what was it? Phase 3. This is the end of what I'm calling the Infinity Saga.
Wait, Joss Whedon was promoting this?
Well, I mean, these were his words. Like, hey, this is.
Oh, okay.
I'm considering this, phase 1, 2, and 3.
I was like, this dude doesn't even like
the
these fucking
Infinity
movies.
Saga.
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
But I think I'm echoing what you're saying, Walt. Where it felt like, oh damn, like okay, you guys. I was really curious to see how you'd wrap it up. I mean, you told me off the bat, hey, this is 3 hours, and it makes sense that okay, you guys had a lot of things to revisit.
You had to revisit all that stuff, and it just really felt like of more than any of the other movies. It really, really felt like a bent comic book.
So let me
Yeah, actually did.
let me tie this in. It did feel like it didn't feel like the first time I saw, and he could tell you the first time I saw Avengers 2. I was like, what
he
the
hated it,
fuck
man.
are they doing making Avengers 2 a filler movie? How dare they? This is a damn filler movie.
It was a filler movie.
It didn't feel epic.
No.
Like Avengers 1 felt like, they hit us with that.
I kind of want to tie into what I kind of want to even double up on what you're saying. They may have wasted too many good villains in some of these movies.
Oh, big time.
Oh, for sure.
I'm really
Because
surprised we
Ultron-
didn't get a revisit for.
But they'll
some of these
bring them
villains.
back. They'll
Will
bring 'em
they?
back.
You can, I guess they can.
Who do you think they're going to bring back?
Ultron
And
for sure.
I don't think so.
Where's the body?
I don't think they're going to revisit that.
Show me the body.
Okay, but I don't think they're going to revisit Ultron. I don't think we're going to see any of these. I'd be really surprised if I see any of these old villains come back.
I know you got a list of shit, and
Oh, look, I was making some like poor handwritten notes. I didn't even get like half
look,
of them.
I know. Look, I'm almost curious to see who the next big villain is. I've been thinking about
Magneto.
All right, fuck it.
think
Let's
it's Kang.
Let's go to let's actually
God, I
jump
wish.
into that question.
Oh, I wish.
I think
They
it's
already
Kang.
did time travel. Fuck yeah.
All
Why
right,
not
yeah.
Kang?
And I
Hell
wanted to
yeah.
ask that. We can just actually jump into it.
Immortus.
Where do you go after this?
Back
Dude.
to the future.
Back to the future, Marty.
So-
Wait, you're saying Kang, Drew?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Walt. My bad.
So
you're saying Kang.
you look at it like this. So the next
'Cause I wanna chime
kind of
with mine.
schedule of movies we think are coming. Okay, so we know Spider-Man is coming.
Guardians 3.
Guardians 3 is not coming to 2021.
I'm just saying it's coming
It's
up.
coming. So another Black Panther, Eternals movie,
Yep.
a Shang-Chi movie.
Okay. Oh, I forgot about that. Shang-Chi
I think
movie.
if we do Fantastic Four, the next movie will probably involve the Annihilation Wave.
Doctor Doom.
Annihilation Quest, Annihilation Wave.
They're going to do Doctor Doom right.
Wait till
Doctor Doom
I,
would be good.
And I think
let me know when I could drop mine in there.
And then I have an overarching thought too
Okay.
that we may not even be alive to see it.
Damn. Well, what the fuck?
No, it's
This
true.
is morbid as shit.
No.
No, this is real talk.
These are going to be like James
I think-
Bond movies.
Okay, if we got so this is basically year 10. So I would say in about 15 more years, they're going to do a Secret Wars.
You think so?
And that will be when they rebring back your Captain Americas and your Tony Starks and all that. They're going to let them be dead for a while.
Yep.
What do you do about bringing back these characters and utilizing? I mean, you're saying like de-aging technology or really?
Dude, did
No,
you
they
see
just
what
have new actors. That's only.
Yeah, I
just be
did
new
notice.
people.
I did
Yeah.
notice the amount of de-aging.
There's a lot of that.
They'll just bring back. They'll just revamp. It'll just be because they'll have to reset the universe basically. Not so much. Remember how Secret Wars like when. That'll be the big overarching Fantastic Four story whenever they involve them in it. The big overarching Fantastic Four story will be leading to Secret Wars.
Okay. What about they could honestly do House of M as well.
When we had talked about that,
House of
yes,
M would be dope.
House of M.
I think House
yeah.
of M. They could, if they do it right off the bat, like House of M would be like stupid dope.
Because I mean, they could play off like how powerful we got to see Scarlet Witch in this movie, and I mean, if the plans of including X-Men go as planned,
But that would mean they would have to re-retro a fuck up they made 5 years ago when they made Quicksilver and
Oh, yeah,
Scarlet
man.
Witch not mutants.
Yep.
Because that idiot that runs more Ike. So when Ike had the bright idea that we're just not, they can't be mutants. If we can't make money off them, they can't be mutants. So I mean,
let me throw in mine. Here's my
Your idea, though.
This is assuming that they are planning to do another 10-year epic. You know,
I think that's
all
the
of
most-
this.
They're definitely
so
doing that.
let's assume that's the case, that they're going to do another.
Let's assume Disney still likes money.
Let's assume that they're going to do another 10 years worth of MCU movies, and all of them relate to the bigger arching story arc.
Disney movies.
I think that I would love to see them do something like Avengers versus X-Men, because you could introduce a character like Mephisto it would play more into the a different, because with this one we got Thanos, we got like a outer space vibe, we got the whole time travel vibe. I'm thinking it's time to introduce something more like almost kind of grounded more on the mysticism side, maybe a little bit of like religious tones that we haven't seen quite yet.
Not going to happen.
You don't think so?
Disney's too safe. They're too safe. Too homogenized, too safe.
If anything, I think this movie showed that they're willing to take some steps forward.
Oh, they'll take some, but they're not going to go full. Dude, Doctor Strange could have been what you just said, but it wasn't. They didn't. Dude, once did he call upon the hoary hosts of Hogoth? Nope. That's another religion, bro. You're going to offend somebody.
That's fair. That's fair.
Did once he call upon the powers of the Vishanti? Not once.
I think if we do get a Mephisto or get that story arc, it'll be a very toned down version. It won't be devil scary Mephisto. They'll probably do some bullshit like
then why the fuck have Mephisto, dude?
I'm just saying that
dude eats
that's my
souls,
guess.
Literally.
See, look, man, they have no problem fucking with souls. Clearly, we didn't seen two people lose them.
Yeah.
So I think the soul part is kind of like on the table.
Drew.
Yes, sir.
As far as for you, man, was this a worthy end stone or a worthy capstone to everything? I mean, was it worth waiting? I mean, all of us at this table have invested a lot of time.
I was there for the first Iron Man that came
out.
Wait, let me just say this, guys. The first time I recorded with you guys when we were talking shit about Iron Man 3. That was the first time I recorded with you guys.
I still don't really like Iron Man 3.
It's like deja vu right now. But I'm going to bring it back. The little boy.
Yes.
That was the kid from Iron Man 3
that up
at
today.
Tony Stark's funeral, man.
Not look anything. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not a little no more.
It was crazy.
But Drew,
5 years passed.
But Drew, looking at
Longer than that.
everything that you've invested in the MCU, do you feel satisfied? Are you happy?
Heck yeah, I felt satisfied. I walked away. I'm like, all right, cool. Everything tied up. There's some questions I had, but I was able just to like say like, I mean, I looked left and I looked to my right, and we all did the head nod of like, this is a great movie.
Hey, look, you know that scene where at the end where Thanos like sits on whatever the rock or that bench, and he was just like, he was just okay taking like just disappearing. Walt leaned over, he was like, "Hey, that motherfucker looked tired." And in my head, I was like, "Nah, he just represents us." Like,
yeah, he was
finally,
us, all the fans.
He represented our wallets. Like, we can take a break, but that's not true because in June, or I believe it's June or July, one of those months, we're getting Homecoming, and a part of me feels like, home. Thank you, Far From, thank you very much, the new Spider-Man movie, but a part of me feels like that might be too soon. Like, it's like, yo, you just took 3 hours out of me. You gave me so much to take in.
It's not too soon, Butter, huh? You remember, it's not Marvel anymore, huh? It's me, motherfucker.
A part of me wishes like they would take a longer break, like really let it settle in.
They're going to take a longer break because there's no other Marvel movies coming out until
they jizzed in your
year.
face and were like, clean yourself up.
Yeah, like they don't have a date. There's not a date open. I don't know when the next movie's coming out.
It's
after
Spider-Man.
No, after Spider-Man. What?
Oh, well, that's because the news of that streaming app kind of took over everything else. And to be honest, this movie felt like a launching pad for a lot of the things they got going on, like the Captain America and Falcon.
Well, Captain Marvel's gonna be the first one that's gonna be exclusively on that.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the limited or the series they got coming out, the WandaVision stuff, the Bucky Winter Soldier, the Black Widow. So it was like,
well, Black Widow's gonna be a movie. That's another.
But I think it'll be on the Disney streaming app.
No, that's gonna be a regular
it'll be a movie. I feel like they missed a boat on that, to be honest.
So wait, they're making a movie with Natasha?
Yeah, that's gonna have to be a throwback to how she became Natasha, though. It's basically gonna have to be Red Sparrow without the fucking.
Nobody's ever really gone.
Let me take it back to Endgame because I want to get into more some of these.
Are you sure we don't want to talk about Red Sparrow real quick?
No, not at all. Favorite moment or scene that is still resonating with you guys even after watching it? See, how about you lead us off?
Cap wielding Mjolnir.
Drew,
when he picked it up or when he would call it?
Dude,
when he called it,
any and every scene where he's doing it is just like, yes.
The part that I love is when
and Thor was like, I knew it, and he wasn't upset, like he was happy.
He was.
He better be happy. He was getting his ass handed to him.
I love when they were
Thor
trading
would never
axes.
admit it though. Like it wasn't like I'm glad he's saving my life. It was, I'm glad that I can still believe in something. You know, like my friends. You know,
Damn.
that was his brother picking up that hammer.
I mean, I said the same thing about that being my favorite scene.
Thor was
at the
probably
live
my
show.
favorite character. Like out of all the movies, it would probably be Thor and then Rocket. But like,
what was the specific moment or scene?
Specific moment with Thor, the one that just comes up because off the sea is just when he calls Mjolnir for the first time, and it's just he says, "I'm still worthy."
Yeah.
Oh, when he's with his mom.
when he's with his mom, which is like
Oh yeah.
that mom scene.
Dude,
like,
when she goes,
oh my
when she holds his chin and
God.
she goes, "Don't lie to me. I was raised by witches,
I was,
boy."
raised
I was
by
like,
witches, boy. And then he had because it was his eyes, right?
Goosebumps
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. She's like, "What's up with your eyes?" He's like, "Oh,
Yeah, he had that
hit the
scar on his
face.
face.
"Sword
Good thing.
wounded my eye."
Don't lie to me." And I'm just like, "Damn, you can't lie to mom."
Nah, Thor Lebowski. Thor Lebowski was
Thor
was
Lebowski
that
was
dude.
wild.
Was that dude?
Thor Lebowski's
No
mom
pun.
like, is the dude. So that I would say that was probably like a very touching and powerful moment
Cool.
because
Oh, that is. I guess she looked at his face and realized that wasn't her Thor. Yeah.
and it's just like, and then he wanted to
and
tell
his
her,
gut.
yeah, his gut.
Yes.
I'm going with my gut on
yeah,
this
yeah,
one.
Yeah,
Man.
I'm literally going with your gut on this one. That's a good
and
one.
You are not my son.
That's a good one. Well, what about you? Favorite moment of scene that still resonates with you?
Again, like I say, that big ass splash page that happened when everyone
That's
came
a good
back.
ass
I mean,
word.
that Brian
Like
Hitch, George
everyone
Perez.
just jumped out of those fucking portals.
Yo,
Brian,
that was a Brian Hitch, George
that
Perez.
was a
Brian.
Brian.
That
it
was
was
like
just
George
like-
Perez was like jizzed on the celluloid. Like he's like,
was-
"Here you go."
Look, it was
lot of jizz in
insane
this
that
episode.
everybody came out and like, okay, so Pepper Potts in that she
The
was in
Iron
that
Man
other
costume.
she
All
was
right.
in that one
Oh,
Iron Man.
I'm gonna throw on my hater ball.
Dude,
I'm gonna throw on my hater card real
Hold
quick.
on, hold on.
I thought
Before you do,
Go ahead, please.
this is funny because this is something else that coincides with the first time I recorded with you guys is Walt bringing up Pepper and like talking about how awesome her abs looked. Like you listen to the episode, you were like, "Oh man, Gwyneth
I'll
Paltrow's
agree.
abs."
I want to make a Twitter.
Yeah,
just
she
call-
did.
just
I do
want-
remember
Remember in Iron Man
right.
3, she had like some,
Yeah.
she was ripped, and
She
I remember
was
you were
sexy.
like, yeah.
She had those Lululemon like pants on and the sports bra combo.
Yes.
Like, I was like,
Yes.
yeah.
Look, so either or she looked
I
cool and then because I like that suit.
I do too. It almost looked
That
like
suit looked
anime.
I remember that.
Like
What's
it
the
was-
suit? You know
yeah.
what suit it is? It's the dirt when
what-
Iron Man was creepy. When he had got inverted or whatever.
Oh,
No,
it's
it looked
when
like,
he was
it looked
superior.
like the ultimate
Iron Man.
version of Black Widow.
Not the superior Iron Man, the one. But remember when they had
Yeah,
the
yeah, I know
inversion
what
where everybody
you're
was
talking
like
about,
evil or whatever? He had that silver suit.
Superior.
It's kind of
Iron Man.
Evangelion. a little bit.
What did he say about? He made a reference about. He was like, "Oh, this is the 5th anniversary." When his daughter had showed him the helmet. He's like, "Oh, where'd you get this? This is anniversary." I'm gonna throw on my hater card and say, when I saw Pepper, for a minute, I was like, "All right, y'all reaching a little bit. Y'all even got Pepper out here.
Yeah,
Who's
got no-
watching the kid? Who's watching the goddamn kid?
Yo, the kid's
Happy?
five.
Happy is.
Look, the kid's 5. She can watch herself.
Oh,
man. I was
yeah.
watching myself.
Happy,
at 5.
please
She'd be
feed
all
my
right.
kid all these
Yeah.
fucking cheeseburgers." All right, Drew's showing us.
That's the
an
Black
image.
Widow's Iron Man tech armor from Ultimate Universe. So that's when I first saw it. That was like the callback that I
See,
saw.
that wasn't what I was thinking. If you look up that, okay, what was the name of that Iron Man book when
I'm
he
not
was
sure,
like evil
but
Iron Man?
I'm gonna let him look it up.
Superior.
Only 'cause it's
Was it
visual.
Superior Iron Man?
No,
Okay.
no, is it Superior?
I thought it was Superior.
It is
Iron
a
Man.
Superior
Yeah,
Iron
it
Man.
is.
Okay, so I like that whole scene. So when Spider-Man pop up and shit,
God, I
And,
got a man crush on Tom Holland. I'm
Tom
not
Holland's
afraid.
on point.
Yo, he looked like he
He bulked up.
bulked up.
Yeah.
He looked like more confident, more chiseled, like just older. It was like, okay, that's my Spider-Man.
Well, it's because he was wearing a motion capture suit.
and who
That
else
wasn't
was
really
it?
his body.
Oh, and also
Now
like,
I'm like, oh, it's all a lie. It's all a sham.
the Ant-Man people pop. It was just like everything that you had been watching.
Yeah.
Black Panther. It was like you had been watching this shit for. It was just the ultimate culmination. This is the final battle. So that's what I was like.
I'm about to say something, maybe controversial, maybe not.
Did it?
When I saw all of the ladies stand up and
We
be like,
got this.
yeah, when they did that sort of scene, I was like, that is how it's done. How it's not done is how it was done in Captain Marvel. Like, I didn't get the whole, like, yes, like women can do this.
Oh, you're
vibe.
talking about that montage of her standing up like 1,300 times?
Well, that was
Like-
basically the Dwayne Wade commercial.
I'm
yeah,
not sure.
it
yeah.
basically was
Yeah.
a Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Yes.
I swear to God,
Yes.
just like
No, the
Gatorade.
Nike
just
commercial,
do it.
yeah.
no, there's a Wade commercial where it could have been a Jordan commercial. It was a
could have
Com-
been
it was
any-
a Converse
Could have been a
commercial.
Shia LaBeouf commercial.
I'm just saying that is how it is done. Like
Well,
that
they-
is how like you get the point across that one, these are not only women but a woman. You can, any one of those you should aspire to be because they help and they work
Yep.
and blah blah. If I had a kid and that kid was a girl, I would be like that is the gold standard. Aspire to that.
Interesting.
Well, because they did that. Well, it with Avengers
Without
and-
even trying, I'm sorry, not even trying to be like a message either. It wasn't like message.
No,
like
just
the
a cool-ass
whole-
moment.
Yeah, exactly.
But we got
Exactly.
that. We got that in Infinity War because when what's her name was coming to attack, and she's like, "Yo, you're all alone," and then Black Widow's like, "No, she's
Yeah,
not alone,"
that's-
and then all the women came.
Another good example.
fucked them
That's a
all
good point.
up,
Another
Forgot
good
about that.
example.
and then like I was like, "Okay, that's how you do."
Oh,
it.
when they fought Proxima Midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just-
Nerd.
killed her.
And this was
I'm gonna throw in mine was seeing Cap versus Cap when Captain America was fighting his past self.
The Hell Hydra part too. That was,
Oh my god!
Dude.
Okay,
Yo.
so flashback.
flashback to the comic book.
I was gonna say flashback to Winter Soldier, where he's in the elevator.
Yep.
He's like, if anybody wants to leave, they can get out now.
Yes.
And you think he's gonna do it, and instead he takes the high road
Smart.
and uses his brain, and he's like, "Hail Hydra!"
Like literally showing you like these characters
And they're like,
have grown. They've gotten smarter.
You've
They're
seen
not-
all this other
Yeah.
bullshit.
But
dude.
good.
Yeah, no, Peter David was right. Like that whole, it's funny when you think like the first half of a movie is an actual regular length movie.
Mm-hmm.
So like the first movie we saw was just straight character development. And like you see, like it's like
It's a payoff.
Yeah, Cap wasn't like if everybody wants to get out he doesn't do the same thing.
Nope.
He just is like, oh, I'm gonna outsmart these fools.
Okay, real quick. Let me chime in real quick and just say two things. One, that Cap versus Cap fight was probably one of my favorite moments. On top of Cap wielding Mjolnir, it felt like I said at the live show, it felt like reading a panel from an old school comic book, an old school Avengers Roy Thomas comic book come to life. It was like just wacky. It was like, yo, I've got two Captain Americas fighting on screen. It was super dope.
Roy the boy.
Dude,
Exactly.
for a while, it took. I didn't know that it was Captain America versus Captain America because I thought it was Loki. Because
Dude,
well, I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
Loki.
So- I mean, there's that.
When Loki turned into Captain America, I was like, because that's what he did. Remember when he was in prison? He was like, oh, he turned into Captain America, started talking shit, and then he left. So when he showed up, I was like, oh, that's going to be Loki. But like you said, it was Steve versus Steve.
Yeah, which is like, damn, they're really doing this.
Oh.
And it goes into maybe one of my initial minor gripes when I first saw them kind of doing this whole timeline thing.
Let the hate flow through you.
I was fine with the time.
Well,
Go.
well, my thing was, for a minute, I was like,
Do it.
I was like, oh man, y'all just gonna rehash like shit that I've already seen.
So you thought it was going to be like a Friends episode?
Yeah,
it
I
was
was
just
like,
nothing but
oh,
clips.
we're just doing like a best of,
Just a clip
walk
episode.
down memory lane. But
I thought the same thing until
But when I saw that Hail Hydra scene, I was like, oh, okay, we're getting a
it
payoff
was an
in the sense
excuse
of like,
to develop the characters.
thank you so much, but very well said. Which kind of I want to kind of switch the flow. Was there something that you felt was lacking, or they might have maybe missed the mark on? Hulk. Okay, go into that more. What
I
do you
like seeing. I like so when Peter David
because I have
explained,
a similar thing.
Well,
about it.
okay, so I can't argue with Peter David's art. Like he put the homework into like dissociative identity disorder, where it's like how they treat patients, where they basically say, don't try and say like, oh well, I don't look at it as a disease. Look at it as we're going to take all these personalities and make them go towards one direction, and if they're all working towards the same thing, then they eventually merge, and then that thing is now one person, and then the person is cured. We're like, that makes sense. If Bruce took that journey in 5 years, perfect. But at the same time, everybody knows at this table that the Hulk is the strongest when he's angry, and he's lost his shit. So we needed the monster. Like, yeah, of course, it's good to have faculty and rational control or whatever, but would have been cool. It probably would have set.
You were saying about
It probably would have set the movie a little bit over where
on.
I wanted.
Bring it home for
just
me.
to see him like when he's holding up the thing and he's like, I can't do it. Like Rocket's there and freaking Rhodey, they're like,
Yep.
oh shit. And he's like,
Don't drop
he's
that
like,
shit.
guys, and he's just kind of like, buddy, I need you, and then all of a sudden it's like. He kind of like stops, and then maybe his eyes turn green, like they were in the first Avengers movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like they were almost a little darker green, but he goes, and then he like turns into the Hulk, right? And then you see them both personalities working together.
Smart.
Like I'd have loved that, but
I'm
not unhappy with it.
No, and I'm gonna echo slightly what you were getting at is Hulk. I would have loved to see him get a redemption fight with Thanos
Because the last time we saw him, well,
he got his ass whooped by
Well, not
Thanos.
even that.
And he still wasn't about to get. I
was
see what
supposed-
you're saying. Thanos would have still
No,
got
I
he was
his
kind of
ass.
a pussy.
I would have. He said it like, and I would have loved to see him get at least a shot at Thanos. Like,
I take a knee to the
I don't
face.
need-
I'm like, nah.
I know.
Yo, I needed a
you're
face.
saying one is enough,
Bro,
It's
like,
like,
he needed him in the face like 3 times.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I don't
picked
need
it
him
up.
to face Thanos.
No,
I
no.
just need him to show redemption,
I wish I would've-
like where he basically was like, all right, I got to make up for the fact that
Exactly.
I didn't turn into the Hulk in Infinity War when they needed me to. So, like, if he's saving his friends,
We're saying this.
that makes sense.
I agree. Well, Drew, what about you? Was there something that you felt they might have missed the mark, or you wish they would have seen a little more? The drinks are the drinks
sorry.
are flowing too.
No,
That's
I'm
about
trying
it.
to figure out like something that I didn't like or didn't flow very, very well. And
Do you have any gripes? I guess is my overall question. And that's fine if you don't. I don't want you to.
Not that the only thing that I would have gripe. Nothing. I have
No,
no complaints right now.
No, I appreciate it. Well, what about you? Anything you felt?
None.
So, in your mind, this is it safe to say this is a perfect movie for you?
This is a perfect Marvel movie for sure.
Interesting.
I mean, it's
Well
no
done.
if Bill Street could talk, but yeah, it's
Actually, you know what?
dope.
I take it back. My one gripe was basically
Thank you, man. I love you for that.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on.
Ronan, like his whole character archetype, like the
We can
Hawkeye
cheers real
character.
quick. We can cheers. Hey, cheers to a great fucking Avengers movie in this podcast.
Ronan
And our
basically
listeners.
in the beginning of the movie, I was like, all right. I wanted to see more of his suit. I didn't get to see his mask. I didn't see anything. It's just.
I wish they would have even said something about.
I wish
Ronan.
they would have said. You know what would have?
Oh, I guess what they're saying.
No, here's what would have resonated more. Natasha's sacrifice was for them to remind everyone in the audience that both Black Widow and Hawkeye were at one point in the Marvel universe very bad people. Like bad guys in the comics. Like I remember watching the '60s cartoon where like Hawkeye's like, "I'll get you, Avengers," and you're like, "That's Hawkeye? Oh, I forgot he was a bad guy.
He's a
Yeah,
bad guy,
before he
yeah.
joined the team." So like.
I'm surprised no one called him out. Like
Everybody but they
you were
alluded
murdering
to it a
people.
little bit, like when they're like when Rhodey's like, Natasha,
You got to
I
do
don't-
something about your boy.
I don't even want to find him because of the mess he's made of human like wreckage everywhere, like just. He's destroying people, like not just killing them.
Look,
you know,
when-
like
when-
he's the Hawkeye. He's Hawkeye from the comics. Bad again.
Yeah,
you
when
know?
he joined the team, I was like, "Ain't nobody gonna bring up like
His hair?
His his
he looks like
distracting
fucking
hair.
one of the members of the Jersey Shore.
To be honest,
Looked like
everyone
Pauly D.
there was way too many distracting fucking hairstyles in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "Yo, is everyone's hair?"
Yo,
fucking
why the
changing?
fuck does Captain Marvel have a Shailene Woodley do?
Yo,
like
even
are you
before-
kidding me
Yeah,
right now?
That's kind of the hair she got in the first
Yeah,
arc
in
of
the
that
comic
other.
book.
And that
And
Sure.
that comic book was a callback. Like at one point when they show her for the first reveal, it almost looked like an Ed McGuinness. Like
It was that. It was that. It was what was that issue? It was the Captain Marvel, the first Kelly
You
Sue
know
the
what I'm
comic
talking
shit.
about.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Because the
Look,
color was off too.
Even Blythe was like, "I hate that haircut." I was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, me
Sarah
too,
was-
baby. Me
Sarah
too."
was
They could have
too.
done her haircut a little bit
Oh,
better.
way,
Like I've
way
seen that haircut better on. I've seen a girl today with that same haircut that
Yeah.
look.
Like she went into the
barber.
barber shop, was like, "Give me the Michael J. Fox
Yo.
from Teen Wolf." Like, really?
Well, you know what? I take that back. That was just a bad wig.
Yeah.
Because I know goddamn well Brie Larson did not cut
no,
her
of
hair.
course.
There's
Of
no
course.
way.
Yeah.
So that was just a bad wig, and they could have just found her a better wig. Either that or
Get a good wig
or
guy.
for the next one, she just got to commit to the bit and cut her hair.
So I want to kind of I want to go into some of the maybe the minor scenes that maybe some people overlooked or just weren't as important at the moment. And I wrote a few. One of them that I've got here is just thinking about some of the characters they reintroduced. People like Tony Stark's father, like getting
It was good to see him.
Like
That
good to
was
see
cool.
that. Getting to see Captain America finally,
Dance
Get
with
that
old girl.
dance.
dance with, and it's like they had so many callbacks to the first movies.
I like the Tilda Swinton part. I really
Yeah,
like.
I did too.
And like a lot of people, I've been reading on the internet. A lot of people are kind of like whatever with that
Is
part.
that
but I'm like,
was that ancient one?
yeah, it's an ancient
Why?
one.
Okay, I specifically
I
wrote
like
that
the
down.
ancient one
get
part.
that.
I
don't
love
get
that they gave her another chance to like just
They gave her a chance.
Be
and
there.
What was crazy
and kick ass. Like
with that part, oh, really? They didn't like. It wasn't that they didn't dislike her part. It was the Hulk part of it. That's why they was like, she could not take Bruce Banner seriously while he was Hulk Banner or Professor Banner. So when she pushed him out of his body, out of the Hulk body, and his consciousness was flowing, and he sat there and talked to her as Bruce Banner, and she was like, Stephen Strange is still a surgeon right now.
Yeah.
he
20
won't-
miles down the way right now.
and she's like, he won't be a doctor for
5 years.
For 5 more years.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, he's supposed to be the best of us. So if he did this, it was clearly for a reason. So I have to trust that we chose him for a reason and he made the right decision.
You know,
but her
those-
whole part was dope.
Yeah,
I love
I
that so
agree.
much.
Like
Yeah.
I loved
So
it. You know
cool
what
to
I
see her
thought
again.
was going to happen?
hit it.
This is how crazy I had no idea what was going to happen with this movie. I thought as soon as she went boom and pushed Banner out of his body, I thought the Hulk was still going to be
Yeah.
standing there like
Just raging.
just like and like I'm like, oh shit, you have no idea what you just did. You pushed out the control. Like, and he'd have been like, "Raw, bald lady,
I hate
give me
stairs."
rock. You know?
What else do I got here? So Ancient One was on here. Just the various callbacks to the prior movies, like seeing. I mean, even Iron Man's kind of big moment, having the gauntlet and just hearing him
Oh.
say, "I am
The first
Iron Man."
and last things he said, right? So last line of the first Iron Man movie,
I am Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yep.
Da-da-da, credits, right? his last words were, "I am Iron Man."
Great callback. Great. I feel like they did such a good job of
God,
getting this movie to me was a giant payoff to hey, you guys have been here for
Mr.
10 you guys
Mr. Stark, we did it, Mr.
The reverse,
Stark.
you know?
We missed
you guys
Stark?
have been here for 10 years. It's time to give you all the payoff. Like it just to me I felt like
Guys,
it really
I
touched
like
the
this
scenes.
movie.
I
I
know, it's
love
just
this movie.
crazy.
I really liked it.
What has been have anyone seen any ratings for this movie yet?
I'll look it up
I know
right
that
now.
it broke
Keep
the
going.
bank like
I was about to
60
say, I think,
million.
Last night.
I think it got a $sign on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
If you Google Thanos, he has the glove comes up. Like,
Yeah, that
shit was dope.
Yeah, if you Google Thanos on the right hand side, there's like a little Infinity Gauntlet icon. If you click it, it snaps and it makes a sound effect, and all of the headlines start disappearing. It's pretty fucking dope.
Holy shit.
Let me ask you a
hit
question.
it.
Why do you think he gave Sam? And I have no problems with giving Sam the shield at all.
I'm okay
But
with
why give? And it makes sense why he would give Sam the shield rather than Bucky the
It
shield.
makes more sense in the movies than to do the comic books.
yes,
Yes.
because he
Because they
wanted
have-
Bucky to find peace.
They have officially established that Bucky is way too raw. Like,
Oh my God, it did it.
Oh
Oh, even on your mobile?
yeah.
See, just Google Thanos.
guys ready?
Oh, we're gonna see it. All right, hold up. Hold up. Bear with us.
yeah. We over here acting like a bunch of grown ass kids.
Yo.
So yeah, let us be.
Oh, yeah, hold
Show
on.
it to me real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and show Walt.
All right.
And while you guys are talking,
Snap. Glowing.
right now, yeah, see all the stuff
Oh.
starts disappearing. Right now, Avengers is
Yeah, that's
sitting
hard.
at a 9.2 out of 10 on IMDb, a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me see what the fans score
Everything
is.
about Thanos disappears.
Yeah. So we got 96% on the tomato scale, or whatever that is,
Yeah.
and then 93 on the audience score.
So that movie got good critic reviews. And
Yeah, with good reason. I want to also, I wrote down a note to highlight some of the various like on-screen chemistry that I really enjoyed. Off the bat,
okay.
Bad Thor.
off the bat, I really liked.
Hey guys.
I really liked Nebula and Tony.
Yeah.
Like just seeing them, like, look, we are in a shitty situation. It's either
Oh,
like,
he was
we work
playing that
together.
old school
Dude, a football game.
Paper football.
Paper football. And then look, I wrote down.
Hey, guys.
I wrote down. Need to see Buddy Cop.
What's his name? What's the name of that rock
Korg?
monster?
Korg?
Korg? Hi guys, how's it
I
going?
think.
Hey, guys.
But I need to see a Rocket Raccoon and a Hulk Buddy Cop movie.
No, I need Rocket. This is the team I need.
That-
I need Rocket
shit is
Raccoon.
adorable.
I need Rocket Raccoon with Thor
Well, that's happening. That's,
and War Machine.
that
I
next-
need all three of them.
well, it seems like now when what's our boy James Gunn come back, he got fucking Thor on his team.
Yeah, can we talk about the
Shout
like,
out for James Gunn,
James Gunn
executive
coming
producer
back.
credit.
Korg. His name is Korg.
He would have
For
to.
the record.
He had a big part even before all the stuff happened.
Yeah,
whatever they had said that he was the one who
yeah.
was really working with them on all the extra space stuff.
Yeah, Disney, put some respect on his name.
Absolutely.
Disney put enough respect
So-
on his name to go not find somebody to replace him.
See,
Yeah.
I thought about you during this movie because when we did
Not the fact that you were sitting next to each other.
yeah. When we did the Ant-Man review a year or two, or a couple years really back,
Yeah.
you had mentioned that. Yeah, you mentioned that this movie. I don't know if it was you or Drew, but I'm sure it was you. You had mentioned like, yo, this was Marvel's heist movie.
Yeah.
I feel like Endgame was the heist movie. Like if Ant-Man was the introduction, like, hey, here's a heist movie. Here's how we would do it. Endgame was like, here's the heist movie on steroids.
Actually, I thought the heist part of it was watered down. Only because they needed to make the characters grow, right? So they basically were like, all right, how do we develop these characters plot-wise, but at the same time give them something to do, right? So they're like, well, we got Ant-Man. We'll make it a heist. We can throw some comedy in there. But at the same time, you need to understand that, hey, Steve's a little smarter. Hulk's a little calmer.
Yeah.
Tony's a little more hesitant. He's not
Good.
as brash and ready to go forward. And, you know, like, I do have a plan.
And Thor
Attack,
quit.
you
Yeah.
know? And Thor is not really doing anything. Like, he's not attacking, period. Like, he need to show everybody where everyone's at, but at the same time, give a peek inside their brain. So the heist part, that's the part I probably had the first I had a problem with before I knew what they were doing. Like, I'm like,
Okay.
if this is a heist, like the first half of the movie is supposed to be a heist, this is freaking watered down to shit and not as cool as they did in Ant-Man. Then okay. They're developing these characters.
Agreed.
Cool. Okay.
So-
I'm down.
So for me, I felt like this movie did a really good job of reminding us why these characters are fighting, why they're willing to risk.
Okay, yeah.
Why they're willing to risk fucking up the space time continuum. And I really liked what Thanos had said to them, where he was like, basically, damn, y'all couldn't take a loss. Like y'all had to go do this. All right, bet. But it was like a good reminder of like, yo,
Why are you relating to Thanos, dude?
don't ask me.
I mean, we all kind of do. I mean, I can kind of dig what he's saying.
I don't agree with it, but I get it.
I get it,
It's
yeah.
like, yo, I get it.
His initial mission statement, I see what he's doing. Yeah.
Initial mission statement.
It's like, yo, I got an objective.
Wait, like he's fucking
here's my
Steve
10
Jobs,
Yeah,
right? Like-
for real. It's like, yo, what's your 5-year plan? Yo, I'm about to get these stones.
But it was
I'm about to get these stones, about to get rid of half of these motherfuckers on Earth and in the universe.
and then he looked like he was having a good time just cooking. Like,
Yeah.
just chilling, bro.
He
Yo,
was out there like
he was at his timeshare. He was
Dude,
like,
timeshare,
I got my
like,
time.
yo,
like
I
Martha. He was on his Martha
yo,
Stewart
he
stuff
got
at the
his
house.
jersey retired. Like,
He
wait,
did have his jersey in the
like
rafters.
LeBron. He's like, yo, here we go. I'm just trying to enjoy my life right now.
They came
No,
into
he
his
got
house.
them
He was
thinking-
like, "All right, welcome to Thanos Cooks.
Pretty much.
I'd just like to let you know that Snoop Dogg will be joining me on our show today."
You are stupid.
Like, yeah, I got rid of these stones.
But it was cool to like literally see them give us a visual representation of like, you may have forgot about this character or you may have forgot about this character, but each one of these characters has a loved one that they're fighting for and they're willing to risk it all. And it's like, this is why, I mean, I'm for me, you know, I'm sure you guys can chime in too, but like, this is why we read these superhero books. It's like, yo, there's bigger things out there that's worth putting yourself on the line for. And that's what I kind of got out of this
The
movie.
greager good.
it
Thank
pretty
you.
much is a greater good unless you got a sociopath writing a book, and then all bets are off. So yeah,
Who's the sociopath we're speaking of?
I can't think. I mean, we've had a look. We
Yeah.
was talking. Me and Amber was talking about you this morning. I was like, yeah, Drew. She was like, Drew was telling me about this. He was like, yo, Drew hates all the books.
Oh, I hate, no, yeah, because I was going.
She
I
told me.
I had this entire plan. I
told
talked
you
to
that was.
Butter.
I think Botter told me that. I was like, either Botter told me or you told me, and I said, yo, that's a stupid plan.
I was so excited. Like, it was like I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be great. And then
No one is reading all the Water Realm
hell no.
crossovers.
And Marvin could go suck a dick for doing that all like, and then announcing like 6 different crossovers after that.
No, there was no way I was. Look, real quick, there was only. I'm reading those 6. That's it.
That's it.
Well, hold on. I want
and the
to.
Thor books.
I want to keep it on Endgame.
That is kind of in game.
Yeah, the movie's gonna come out
Right
in
now,
20
they
years.
fighting in the Water Realm. Look, that's
Boom.
Yeah, literally, I guess in the water. Everyone was. I want to. I. When do you guys plan to re-see this movie? Because my strategy.
I gotta go see it next week.
How many times are you gonna see this movie? Because
My strategy-
this movie is already gonna make triple what it is. If
one
everybody
more
sees this
time.
movie twice or 3 times, you
My
got it.
strategy is to. This is, of course, me speaking. Once again, it felt like it took a lot out of me. It was like 3 hours worth of just sitting down, and I mean the situation about doing the live show afterwards, like.
You look like Iron Man on the ice. You're like,
Yo, real quick, can we talk about Iron Man just being straight up real cap in the beginning where he's like, oh, you want to talk about
He's being a real.
teamwork?
You want to talk about practice?
Hold on.
been a real bitch.
I was about to say thank you. Yes. Wait. I was going to say he's being a
Nah,
real
he-
dick. How about
Yeah,
that?
he was acting like a whole ass dude.
Absolutely.
That's only so.
Yes.
Yo,
Thank you,
look,
Walt.
right, talk about
one at a
wait
time,
minute,
one at a
hold
time,
on.
one
You
at a
cannot be complaining to Captain America about fighting Thanos when they were literally fighting Thanos.
You want to talk about practice?
Captain America out here like, Captain America getting hands put on him just like y'all got the hands put on y'all. Like y'all was fighting the motherfucking Thanos.
Oh, but
Agreed.
the best
agree
So
line.
it's like,
The best line when he first saw him. That was another thing too. That interaction between Iron Man and Tony for the first time, and the first thing he says is, "I lost the kid." Like I was just, oh fuck, and then he's just like, "I know." Like,
Drew, I like that.
Hey, Queens.
Drew, I like that. Me and you were in the same boat where I didn't see them doing the whole giving Tony a child or even jumping 5 years ahead.
hell no, that 5 years.
I thought that was an interesting.
That was a
plot
good
point.
point.
5 years
But
ahead.
you know what?
That was an interesting plot point.
it makes sense though. They would have to jump ahead because once they went to go kill him and realized that this motherfucker destroyed the stones, and then it was like, well, fuck, we got to figure out how to do it. If Ant-Man, if that rat is out in that band, there's no way they figure this out.
Did they
True.
kill him first?
Yo, that's the
and
real
then
MVP.
Oh, yeah,
That's the real MVP. Is that
Ant-Man.
fucking rat?
Master
No, is that
Splinter.
rat?
Is that
It's
rat?
Master Splinter.
Master Splinter.
Hold on, what was you about to say? Did
Oh, so wait, because now the movie's kind of bleeding.
they
for me.
kill him in the first 30 minutes of that movie.
Wait, is
Wait, who?
Ant-Man there when they kill him,
No.
or who
Ant-Man-
goes there?
Wait, who?
Ant-Man
Who's
comes
talking about?
5 years later.
That's
so
right. Okay.
it's Captain Marvel gets there. So that's
okay.
a couple days later. So Captain Marvel gets there. It's like 2 weeks later or something. So it's Captain Marvel, Nebula, Rocket Raccoon,
Thor.
Hulk. No, Hulk wasn't even with them on that trip. I don't think.
No.
Not yet. No, he wasn't.
Damn, we got to
He wasn't.
rewatch this movie.
It was everyone.
Shit,
it was
I'm
everyone
down.
that was alive initially except for Hulk. He was the only one who didn't go.
and they just went back there, and then
They went to that planet
They
to go
murked him.
murder his ass.
Fucking Thor
they didn't-
wild
they didn't-
card.
I don't think they officially went to go murder.
No,
they went
no.
to get the stone.
Thor did.
Thor
Yeah.
was like, "Yo, fuck this." He was like, "Went for his head,"
I went for the head.
So
and then he became Thor Lebowski.
yeah, Thor Lebowski. I want to highlight 2 characters for me. One, Nat Nat or Black Widow. There was a scene where she was talking to I'm just going to call them the council, but it was something about like seeing her like take that leadership role and also just being like, I just don't know how the fuck we're gonna do this, man. Like that whole time jump was just good at showing like, hey, these
The
characters,
strain of that
exactly.
situation.
It's like you had Nat who's like trying to hold it all together. You had Cap who was still being optimistic and like being down there for the people. You had like Hulk who had adjusted fairly pretty fucking well.
Yeah, he was out there chilling. He was living his best life.
And
We
then,
gonna keep it a buck.
and I'll be straight up. I was a little at first annoyed at how jokey Thor was, but it wasn't. At first, I was like, okay, I see. You
I
guys
could do
are-
without that. They haven't really handled Thor the best way possible.
The
I don't
only
think they know what to do with him.
I
See,
like
Look,
jokey
But
Thor.
here's the thing.
personally.
But here's
Drew,
the thing.
hold
Here's
on.
the thing. And the reason why I can say Thor is a warrior, and I mean I can attest that all of us
Sure.
in the military,
A 5,000-year-old warrior.
Okay, but at the
Well, 3 of the 4. 3 of the 4 went to the military.
Went to the military, and the reason why I'm saying the way that he's jokey and the way he deals with stuff, like honestly, that's how a lot of these like war-torn veterans. That's how they deal with stuff. They say some of the most morbid,
That's how
jokey stuff.
Sure, that's how. And I agree with you there, and I like that angle. But that's how people who are mortal deal with stuff.
Yeah.
Thor is immortal.
Yeah, but
like he's
No,
not.
you got to
died,
remember,
though.
even
But
if
he
he's
died.
immortal,
One at a time,
though.
one at a
against
Oh, yeah.
against someone else who was a god, right? Not against like another rock monster or whatever. That's what he's used to fighting. He's used to fighting other people who are a little bit less powerful than he is, and he always ends up. Jesus, he fought Surtur like it was nothing. You know, like it was literally nothing. Like he's like. Like that guy should have been a lot harder, but he wasn't because he's fucking Thor. The only thing is that I felt like I was watching an SNL skit.
Dude,
where like
ditto.
Thor was
At
being
beginning, yeah.
Like I was kind of like, okay, does Thor have to be the butt of every joke? Like
I
I'm
felt like
cool.
Ant-Man was that.
I'm cool. Like
No, I felt
if they'd
Thor
have took your
took it the cake for me.
See,
no,
I got-
for sure.
I got-
If they'd have
but
took,
let's just finish.
well, I was gonna say if they'd have took Drew's route, where it was like they made him more or less like, oh, he's a soldier who saw PTSD, and they had more breakdowns, I would appreciate the jokes more. Like if like when he was like, don't you ever say that name. Like more of that to balance out the jokes where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, he's being a jokester because he's fucked up in the head. Like he can't handle life right now.
Yeah.
Perfect. More of that. Even when the Hulk was like, take your hand off me. Like it wasn't like,
I was
take your
expecting
hand
it,
off me. But
yeah.
it was like it was a compassionate like, hey man, I get it. Like take your hand off me. You know, like that would be awesome. More of the he needs to break down more as opposed to I'm fucking the butt of every joke. Guys, get it? I'm fat. Live from New York. It's Saturday night.
But well, go ahead.
My thing, at least with that, is that what's Odin's biggest gripe with Thor all the time?
Which he solved in Ragnarok.
No. What's it like overall? What has always been his biggest gripe? That he spends way too much time on fucking Midgard. Period. That's like his biggest gripe with him is that he's on Midgard too much and not caring about all the other realms. So if
In the movies?
in the kind of in the movie, but definitely in the comic
okay,
books.
but not in the movies though. We're talking about the movies.
Well, look, I'm just what they're doing. If they brought a lot more of those elements in this movie.
Yeah, they're
for
making
sure.
that. They're basically going for that J. Michael Straczynski Thor.
So what I'm saying is that they use the his love of Midgard in the way that a lot of humans deal with fucking depression shit.
Very true.
That's what they were using with it. Ooh.
No, keep
So
going.
that's kind of where that's kind of what I was taking.
I
from
agree,
It.
but it wasn't evident enough to offset the jokes.
I
Like,
think
except
the joke.
for-
They needed to have more moments where like you saw
Yep.
Thor's
when he was
humanity.
talking to his mom, that's when I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
there you go.
Damn, this is a
That was
PTSD
good,
character.
Like think
Okay,
about
cool.
the scenes you just said were
Yeah, like him
awesome.
and Rocket, too. Him
There's
and
a scene
Rocket.
right there that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
Rocket
another
bitch
scene.
slaps him. When he bitch slaps him, he's like,
He's
yo,
another
I lost
soldier.
people.
Yo,
you lost
I
people.
think-
We all lost people.
I think C has said it best yesterday when we were over here kind of prepping. I keep forgetting Bradley Cooper does the voice of Rocket.
Dude,
and kills it.
Dude, Bradley
That I
Cooper's
never forget.
He's a damn chameleon. I love Bradley Cooper. Like every time I see him, even in movies like Midnight Meat Train, where you're like, Bradley Cooper, God bless you. You do any and everything, and you do it well.
Look, we could go on and on about like the smaller details and nuances, but I think we did a pretty damn good job of capturing at least a high level feeling of what we felt.
I feel bad. I feel like none of us talked enough shade about this movie.
Because I don't think there's enough
This
to...
movie's fucking good.
I know, but like, there's small gripes I think we addressed, but
This movie's
for the,
too fucking short.
Yeah, right.
so like I'm gonna give everyone a chance to just say like the kind of last minute comments, and if you want to just talk about where does this fit on your list of Marvel movies or just overall movies.
It's too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon. This is definitely too soon.
I'm gonna tell. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. I think I got a comment.
I'm
too.
gonna tell you. Still, Winter Soldier is still number one,
As it should be.
and
I've got a different opinion, but go ahead.
Winter Soldier will be number one. Guardians will be number two. And I think this movie will be number three only because I finally got to hear Avengers Assemble. Dude, this movie was worth it. Just
And he
to
made
hear,
us wait. He was like, Avengers.
And
he kinda looked at the
that
camera.
Shatner
Yeah,
pause,
yeah.
you know, like just to hear
Yeah,
him
listening.
say Assemble.
And he said
You
it
know?
so smooth. I was expecting like, Assemble, but he was like,
As soon as you hear Sam go, Cap, you read me? I'm like, and then he goes, stop. Hold on. Stop. Then he goes like this. He goes, on your left.
oh my God.
Did he say that? Did he really
Yeah,
say
he
that?
said it. Yeah.
And that's when everybody started coming out.
When those circles started showing up, look, was it you see that yelled whenever Black Panther showed up? You did
When
the
Black Panther
M'Baku,
showed up, I went, woo-ha! Like that.
Look, first of all, my boy Black, because I was like, yo, how do you give all of these characters enough time to at least make it cool? And they killed it. Like that end battle scene, like you said, it was like sensory overload, but
in a good way.
it's the best. Like Black Panther doing his thing, like Spider-Man killed it. Like they gave Valkyrie in her.
Valkyrie had like
Look,
Yeah.
Test of Time.
Valkyrie had
Again,
more shit to
I was
do
about to
than
say,
him,
there's
man.
another example of how they did women better in this movie
Yeah.
than they did in Captain Marvel. What did Ashley say in the review for Captain Marvel? She said, it was cool. I didn't have a problem with it. I liked it. I had fun. I thought it was cool. This movie, she said, didn't she say something to the equivalency of like, I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
I got real emotional when I saw Valkyrie do that.
I'm gonna say this. This might be like definitely in my top 3 Marvel movies. I think I still like Infinity War a little more because the way it ended, it just left everyone like, damn, they really...
Oh, we gotta wait a year for this shit.
Yeah, that, and just a note where it was like,
I don't want to go.
like that might have been like, I can tell you a bunch of Marvel movies where everyone left the theater like, yeah, I'm gonna go read some comics. Infinity War left such a unique sense of like just melancholy and just like, what Marvel, what are you doing? Like,
Yo,
you can't.
This is true. I walked out of Infinity
Yeah, it's
War
like, and that was such. And as far as I don't want to feel that feeling every time, but it was so unique to just shake it up, and you're like, oh my god, the heroes don't win.
Really though?
Well, I mean, you knew that we got another movie.
Come on,
coming up.
that's like people who read all the Lord of the Rings books, walking out of Fellowship, going, "Oh, they're only making one movie."
But,
like they're making 2 more.
For me, I was so caught up into it. You know, I had to catch myself. It was like, wait a minute, bud, what the fuck are you doing? There's another movie coming up, you know? So this movie is
Endgame
probably,
left you happy. Infinity War left
Yeah.
you just depressed. Like it was just
But-
like, oh man.
and it sounds so sadistic, but it was such a unique sense of like, oh my god, I'm feeling different than all the other ones. All the other ones is like, okay, I saw that coming.
You're
okay,
not like
that was
the
fun.
others. You're not like the
this
other
one,
movies.
Infinity War, still is like, man, that's the only probably other gripe I had was I wish we got more Josh Brolin as Thanos in this because he ain't show up till like the last
really?
half.
And I will say the thing about Josh when we was watching Infinity War yesterday, I was like,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
said
know
he
why
was-
he didn't get nominated
Yeah,
because he was really, really good in Infinity War, and he was really
fantastic.
good last night.
Yeah, he was great.
But
And you know, and speaking about character development and progress, it was really cool to see him look at his when we had like the past Thanos look at like everything that had happened in his future,
Inevitable.
and he's like, "Oh, I was kind of a bitch in that. All right, I got to go correct this."
Guys, give it up for Andy Serkis as Mjolnir. Give it up for Andy. You guys didn't know he had the motion capture suit. And he was Stormbreaker too. So,
You are-
Running around doing backflip.
God bless
He
him.
was every
you know?
single ship too. Let's see. C said his thing, said his piece. I said my piece. So, Drew, you guys still think it's too early to say?
Too early for me, man. Like,
Fair enough. Fair
yeah.
enough. Well, look,
I still need to rewatch Ant-Man Wasp at least one more time. That shit's fire.
That's fair.
Ant-Man and Wasp for sure.
It's fire.
So-
as
I mean, this
fuck,
movie
bro.
is a great movie. I will not
No,
give it
look,
that. But
this movie, I left thinking, damn, I'm okay with the closure I got.
I got to see it one more time
Really
just to
happy
see
with the
if
closure.
everything hits differently or if I pick up on new things. Because there's some
Oh,
things
yeah.
that I like.
It's 3
I
hours
missed
worth of
out.
This
movie.
really made me want to
3
do.
hours.
It really made me want to go back and just purchase all those fucking movies, not have them on Netflix. I
was thinking about like an epic
just
box set.
You know, as much shit as I talk, I almost came out and was like, "You guys don't have them all." Like I have them all.
So you've been.
He's been
see, I
buying
should've been-
all
I
of
sh-
them.
I kind of should have been that.
I feel like I
person,
missed
man.
the train.
Wait, I'm gonna put you guys onto something.
Hit it.
Redbox. Redbox.
Can I buy it from them?
You can buy movies from Redbox. I don't fuck around. Dude, Disney will fucking sell you movies for $25 a pop, and they will not go down in price even if they are used. Unless you go to Redbox and you get them, special features included.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop.
For like $5.
Damn.
So that's the only reason I own them. I'll just wait. Because if they're a good movie now, they'll be a good movie 2 years from
If
now.
you go to Chamberlain's, you'll find all.
I
of
got
them
some
on
of those
Blu-ray.
too.
Okay, I think that's a perfect way to actually end this. Is
Go buy 'em.
Major key, as some
Wait
would say.
for this,
Major
dude,
key.
this
So-
super box
Major
set.
key.
There's going to be a super box
Oh,
set,
and I'm
I
waiting for
guarantee
that.
you,
You know
it's going to
there
be a
is. I was
glove.
thinking
It's going to
about
be a
that too.
glove, and then
Ooh,
every
yep.
DVD is
That
going to
other
be
one
inside
already,
the glove.
Hold on, wait a
an
minute.
epic-ass
I
glove.
think
Yeah, no.
one of them already came in a glove because I remember.
an epic
I remember
glove.
Shane had one that had the Tesseract box.
Yeah, I remember
That's
that one.
dope.
The Tesseract box.
That's dope.
I wouldn't be shocked if
Look how
Shane.
easily they
next
got
time I
your
talk
money.
to Shane,
Damn it. Well, fuck, you're right. See.
he had the Tesseract box, and then each phase has a box set, and they come. a certain way.
Yo, look how easy they got my $250. You
Yo.
know it's going to be stupid, right?
No problem. You open up the Tesseract box, and that bitch glow, and you be like,
Oh,
"Yo,
then yeah.
I just
They
spent
are-
$250 for
dude,
this."
They are
I might
so
be okay
worth
with that.
it. It was
It's
worth it.
Disney. They're going to sell them to you at
You are
Disney
stupid.
princess movie prices. Forget it. You're done.
Look, I think
About to get frozen prices.
we are at a very good stopping point. Let me go ahead and say this, man. If you're listening and you feel like, yo, I agree with them, or actually I got a different opinion, man, let us know. Shoot us an email at theshortboxjacks@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 904-580-4095. Once again, I'm joined by Walt, Cesar, Drew, man. Fucking love y'all, man.
Oh, let me send a quick
Yo,
shout
go
out
ahead.
to my new favorite person on the planet, Darby.
Yo, Darby is the best.
This is
man.
my girl.
Yo,
and
shout out to Darby.
what's our boy?
Goodell.
Goodell. Shout out to you,
Dude, Goodell
shout-
right now is in Disney World right now.
Yeah.
Like Dapper Days. Like
Yeah.
he is like.
Yeah, he's dope as shit.
Dope as
Yo.
shit.
Yo, honestly, shout outs to everyone that showed up last
Shout
night.
out to everybody that helped me. Like Nick, Corey, Ashley,
Chris.
Fucking, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Just shout out. Look,
Yeah,
shout
we're
outs-
gonna have another shout out
Yeah,
after
yeah.
this one.
Shout
but
out
yeah.
Duval.
Yeah. So shout out to everyone that's listening. Shout out to everyone that came out for the event. Like I said, man, let us know what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll check you guys out next week. Endgame was just awesome. I'm still like coming down off the high of it.
Game Avengers.
Wait, what? What did you say?
Game Avengers like
Game.
Oh, got it. Game Avengers. Let's go get some pancakes.
Blouse.
Peace.
Peace.
Yo, short boxes. Okay, I know we already said our goodbyes, but you know what? I want to look out for our Jacksonville and surrounding area folks. So if you're listening, man, I want to highlight a really cool event taking place at the main library. It's a Comic-Con taking place this Saturday, May 4th. And yes, please keep your May the 4th jokes be with you. To yourselves. I'm actually joined here with Lorna Reed from the library to talk about this event. Lorna, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here and promote Comic-Con. It's our first Comic-Con, so we want to kind of get the word out, and I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, our pleasure, man. Anytime that we can help spread literacy and team up for the library, because you guys have a stellar comic book collection. I want people to know that one, it's a stellar, diverse collection, and it's also free if you have a library card.
Absolutely, yes, we definitely do. We have comic books for just about everything and everyone. We have some that are in the children's department, we have some in the teen department, and even some for adults, which it's awesome. You should come out and check us out. And we even have manga too, if you want to classify that as a graphic novel.
Oh, all day. So tell us about the Comic-Con taking place at the library and how you're involved in it.
Absolutely. This is actually our first Comic-Con that's at the main library. I am the teen manager, so I'm one of the people that is planning it. We have a bunch of people planning it, so I'm not going to take any of the full credit by any stretch of the imagination. We have spent a lot of time just trying to go over details and try to pick out really fun activities that are going to bring people of all ages into our library to come and hang out with us and just celebrate being geeky and celebrate all of our nerddoms collectively together.
Awesome. So, and I imagine that it's probably taking, like you're saying, a lot of folks, a lot of resources, a lot of manpower, probably a lot of hours outside of just normal, regular library hours. Why was it important for the library to throw a Comic-Con event that just so happened to be on Free Comic Book Day of all days?
Well, it's because it's actually, I know it is on May the 4th, which, May the 4th be with you. It's Star Wars Day. Of course, we want to do it on Star Wars Day, but moreover, we definitely do want to do it on Free Comic Book Day, because Free Comic Book Day is so important, because what it does is it promotes literacy, and we at the library, we adore literacy. And we think that, if we give out some comic books, then people are going to come back through our doors, and they're going to check out our collections in the meantime, and they're going to maybe find their next great read, or maybe something that they're apprehensive about trying. But you know what? Hey, it's free. Come on in and try it out.
Look, that's a great strategy, because there's one thing everyone loves. It's free. And one thing that every comic book fan loves is Free Comic Book Days and Free Comic Book Day. So genius timing on your part. So what's your unique relationship or attachment to comic books or Free Comic Book Day?
Oh, me personally? I grew up with comics, and I have a profound love of comics. When I was a little kid, my first comic book actually was, believe it or not, it's going to sound so terrible, it was the Tomb Raider comics from forever ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have a first edition. I'm so proud of it.
I'm very proud.
Yes,
I like it.
I'm so proud of it. And my family, we get together and we love everything to do with superheroes. I feel like superheroes bring out the best in us, and they make us want to be greater ourselves. So, yes, I love it, and I love things like Captain Marvel, definitely Wonder Woman, and I would have to say I tend to lean more towards the villains myself too, but I'm trying to sound good. So
no, that's a solid top two so far. So I imagine we've probably got some people's attention right now, because it happens. The Comic-Con happens to fall on a Saturday.
Right.
That's usually the time that most people are looking for something to do. This event sounds family friendly. So, bring it home for us. What can people expect to take place at the Comic-Con? Why should people come out this Saturday, May 4th?
You should definitely come out. Our event is going to be from 10 to 3 p.m. So, and during that time, we're going to have so much happening. At 10:30, we're going to have Tom Hart, who is the author of The Art of the Graphic Memoir, and he's the executive director of the Sequential Arts Workshop in Gainesville, and he's going to present a thing about graphic memoirs, and attendees will have the opportunity to start their own memoir using a graphic novel format. At 11:45, we're going to have Isaac Wells. Isaac Wells is a local voice actor, and he actually lives in, when I say local, I mean local-ish. He lives in Green Cove Springs. Mm-hmm. He has done a bunch of work. He has worked for Bethesda, Disney. He's been on Family Guy. He's done a lot of video game work. So he's going to come and have a panel and talk to us about what it's like to be a voice actor, as well as, maybe how someone can maybe break into the field, and he's going to talk about his experiences. At 12 p.m., we're going to have Mosh, and they're going to be coming out with their presentation, The Science of Superheroes. So they're going to have a plug into Mosh, which is awesome. If you haven't been to Mosh, definitely check that out as well. The other thing that was going to be our pride and joy amongst everything else is we're going to have an all-ages costume contest. And that's going to feature Eric Alvarez as the MC, and it's going to have local cosplayer Candy Keene as a judge. The sign-ups for that, of course, are going to be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Makerspace. So we've got combos, so we've got all of that going on, and then we've got Free Comic Book Day, and then we're going to have the Neutral Zone, which is a Kingsland, Georgia-based Star Trek studio, and they're going to be bringing out the captain's chair and the bridge from their Star Trek set. So come on out if you're a Trekkie.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, and then we're going to have a Stranger Things escape room. We're going to have fandom trivia. Video Game Rescue is going to be doing a Super Smash Brothers tournament. And we're going to have Geeky Scavenger Hunts, a Star Wars themed story time if you have littles that want to come out, vendor markets, so spend all your money on geeky stuff. And of course, free comics, because we're going to be having a free comic book day. Those are going to be presented through Coliseum of Comics.
Oh, yeah.
And those come through our partner, who is Obi Omina from the Omina Legal Group.
Shout out to Obi and Coliseum Comics, two good friends of the show.
Yes. And also Iberia Bank too. Those are also great sponsors, and they're going to be and those guys are going to be presenting, sponsoring our presenters, Tom Hart, Isaac Wells, and the Neutral Zone.
Damn. So we got costume contests. We've got Stranger Things themed escape room. We got a vendor market. We've got free comic books, of course. I mean, all of this sounds on par with any of the big Comic Cons that you can go to, and events for the kids too. So, and perfect timing too, between 10 and 3. So definitely something I wanted to highlight, put a spotlight on there. Because, I mean, when we had Jenna and Hurley on the show to talk about the Completely Booked podcast, we were just championing how amazing our local library here is in town. I mean, we've got a podcast. You guys have a diverse and awesome comic book collection. And now you guys are throwing Comic Cons, man. Like, definitely proud to be aligned, and to be in Jackson and have such an amazing library.
Absolutely. I'm so proud to be a part of the Jacksonville Public Libraries, and I'm completely amazed and astonished at how wonderful these Comic Cons are going to be, because they bring so many people into our library. I'm so happy to have everything involved, and we've got, like I said, we've got something absolutely for all ages, from your little babies right up through kids at heart. Just come on out and don't forget your costume, and join our comics and join our costume contest for sure.
Fantastic. Lauren, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show to share this awesome event. Where can people go to find out more information if this wasn't enough?
Oh, absolutely. You can definitely stop in at our local branch, which is going to be the main library. Of course, that this is where it's all going to be going down. But you can definitely go to jackspubliclibrary.org to find out more information, or go to Face It. We're also on Facebook too. So if you just go and do a search for our library, you can definitely find out more information there.
Fantastic. Lauren, again, thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And big shout outs to the Jacksonville Public Library for throwing such an awesome event here in our own hometown on Free Comic Book Day at that. Check it out. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Thank you.